Hey, it's Aaron the Hope from Mobilereviews-eh.ca, and today we are going to do the review for the Incipio Phenom. Now, is this case phenomenal? Nope. Is it a phenomenon? Nope. What is it exactly? This is a case only for the iPhone 6. It's a little bulky for my feeling. It's not as grippy as I would like it to be, but it does feel incredibly well built. We've reviewed 3 Incipio cases for the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus up to date, the Octane, the DualPro, and now the Phenom. And the Phenom is the lowest rated case out of the 3. We're not big fans of the design of the case. The case would score a little higher if the Incipio Phenom would let me use my power button a little easier. Some of the better features of this iPhone 6 case include slightly larger edges than your average case, and they don't get in the way of accessing your iPhone, which is nice. And this is one of the very few cases that claims to have triple layer protection. Based on our time with this case, we gave it a score of 3.9 A's out of 5. This case does better than your OtterBox commuter, is on the same level as your OtterBox Symmetry and Spec Candy Shell, but doesn't do as well as Incipio's own DualPro and Octane. If you need all the details, check out our website, which has all the details in an easy-to-read review table. So after all the details, I am going to kind of give you a quick breakdown about which one of these cases I like the most.
Real usage, real reviews. Mobilereviews-eh.ca.
So at Mobilereviews-eh.ca, before we actually rate any of our cases, we use them and we do really awful things to them. Incipio says that we can drop this case from 4 feet, and I really have no problems dropping this case from 4 feet. As you can tell, there isn't any damage to the iPhone. Like, thing still works, it's still on, the screen isn't cracked, so all in all I would say this case is droppable from 4 feet. In terms of weight and bulk, the Incipio is a larger case, being thicker than the Incipio DualPro and Tech 21 Classic Shell, but not as thick as the OtterBox Symmetry. Despite that, this case will still more than double the thickness of your iPhone. Installing the case is pretty simple. You just push it in, and taking it out of the case is also pretty easy. This case fits the iPhone really well. Now, according to Incipio, there are 3 layers to this case. There's a D-last layer, a Plextonium layer, and a Flex Subscript 2.0 layer, and they all kind of mash together to provide you this case. Incipio probably has the most, I don't know, technically creative team, like Plextonium, like D-last, Flex, Subscript, Subscript 2.0, Octane, DualPro. You go through all that fanciness and it's just still an iPhone case. Now, we did knock the case down a bit in terms of build quality, as the case does scratch a little easier than other cases, which is surprising given that Incipio's own DualPro doesn't scratch as easily and it only contains Plextonium and D-last, I think. In terms of protection, it's drop rated, as you've seen, and the edges sit far enough away from the curve of the iPhone that you can easily install a screen protector with the case. Because of the tight fit, dust and debris aren't going to creep into your case like other multi-layer cases such as the Ballistic Tough Jacket. In terms of accessing your iPhone, our case seems to have a defect around the power button. It's pretty hard to get to your sleep power button, and it kind of takes out the tactile response of the button. You can't feel the click of the power button. That bothers me quite a bit, actually. You can't feel the tactile response of something that's supposed to have a tactile response. I don't know if I turn it on. I don't know if I turn it off. There's no click. It can't tell me. The case is pretty slick, so it might slip out of your hand a little easier than other cases. The cutouts at the bottom of the case will allow you to use slightly larger than average headphone cables. For the Lightning cables, you can use ones that are actually quite a bit larger than a stock Apple cable. In terms of screen functionality, we're big fans of the cases. They're quite deep, but don't jet out like other cases like the Spec Candy Shell. And we do have to add, and we're not quite sure how to say it, but the materials of the case around the edges makes it feel really nice. It's got a nice soft feel to it. Again, we gave this case a score of 3.9 A's out of 5. It's not a bad case, but there are many cases that are much better than it. Now, before we talk about which Incipio case I like the most, if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe. We produce 2 to 3 videos a week, news, tips, and tricks, as well as relevant news, or news that we find time to make videos about. If you like what we do consider supporting us through Patreon or a PayPal donation or getting one of our t-shirts. This case was not given to me by Incipio. I had to go and buy it. I'm sitting at about $2,600 worth of iPhone cases right now. I do have a $300 Element case in the back. That thing was painful to install. Now, in terms of which Incipio case, I do have to say right off the bat that I am impressed with the iPhone 6 cases that have been produced by Incipio. We were kind of on the edge with the iPhone cases from Incipio for the 5 and the 5S version. Our Atlas IDs and Atlases were not great. The wallet cases scratched quite easily, but these cases, they seem to have taken it up a notch. So now, between these 3 cases, the Incipio Octane scored 4.3 A's out of 5. The DualPro scored 4.2, but I like the DualPro better. It is much more colorful. The materials feel nicer, and it's got a nice round edge to it, so it kind of follows the same roundness of the iPhone. The only thing that the Octane is better at is the actual size of the case. All three of these cases are rated up to 4 feet, which is pretty awesome. Not a lot of slim case manufacturers will say their stuff is good up to 4 feet. So again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'd like to know what you guys think about this case. Find us on Instagram, Google+, Twitter, as well as Facebook. We've got a bunch of giveaways going out right now, so I do check some of my videos to figure out how you can enter those draws. I'm Aaron the Home. Thank you for watching. Phenomenal? Phenom? Do I call it a phenom or phenom? Phenom sounds better. Phenomenon. Phenomenon. Phenom. Why do people have to make things so difficult to say, like plexitonium, D-last flex subscript 2? Oh, why are they just so, it's plastic, it's rubber, what normal person would actually care about stuff like that? That really boggles my mind, is that why does everything have to be so complicated in this world? I just don't quite understand it. This is a piece of rubber that protects your iPhone from breaking.